My name is Adam, and I just did a scavenger hunt with my pack. We used an app called Goose Chase. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what was it called again?
Called Goose
Yeah.
Chase. Basically, what I did is I went through all the scout books from Lions all the way up to Arrow of Light, and I pulled all the activities that the kids were supposed to do, and I put them all into the app and made them all do scout skills from Lions to Weeblos. And it had everything in there from camping overnight in their backyard to finding street signs that related to scouts, doing different knots, doing different egg cooks and pancake flipping, and they can take photos or videos from the app. The trick is you want to find somebody who's a teacher because they can get it for about $50. Otherwise, you're looking at about a sizable investment for your pack. So, I mean, if you want me to show it to you, I can show you what it looked like from the app's perspective and what the kids were able to do with it.
Do they get to choose what they're doing, or does it just auto pop up with a random choice?
So I put my kids, or I put my scouts into teams, and so their team would have like one Weeblo, one wolf, one bear, one lion, and I just tried to balance out the teams based on the different kids, and then I made an Excel sheet that showed who was on which team, and then from there the kids could organize amongst themselves, virtually how they wanted to, who was going to do which tasks and how they were going to do them. So it worked out well. I mean, I had more tasks than the kids did, which was good because I didn't want to run out of things for them to do. But we basically did it over the July 4th weekend, and then they would submit all of their stuff. But I can go into like the activity feed, and it'll show me like all the different things that I had for the kids to do. So like this one was thank a first responder, um, go on a 3 mile hike, going picking up trash, and we called, and I had like different titles for each of these. So this one was part of Leave No Trace, um, Ding Dong Ditch, thank you card to your den leader, camping out overnight, cooking eggs over a open campfire, setting up a tent in under 3 minutes and putting it back into its bag, um, create a nutritious meal and explain it. And so the kids went through and they did all these different pieces. There were all the different scout requirements from, like I said, lions to Weeblos. So, but it came out, it worked out really well. And then with the app that the kids download, it ranks them like first, second, third on how they're doing. And as a scoutmaster, I could award, or cub master, I could award extra points if like the kids did something more scoutly or things like that. If I thought they went out of their way or had a great explanation for something. So it was a lot of fun. The kids really enjoyed it.
So it sounds like you need a smartphone. That's my only comment.
So you do need a smartphone, but most of the kids, I mean, they have to do this as a family, and so each family needs one smartphone. So it could be an iPad, it could be a tablet if they can download the app, but for our area, all the families had a smartphone.
I know that for our pack, 851, we've been just trying to figure out how do we keep kids engaged and scouts engaged through, this entire program, especially coming into the fall. So we've talked about, you know, doing stop motion videos, figuring out ways to get online Zoom guests to appear. I know that at least my den, about a month ago, we had a police dog join our Zoom call, and all the scouts loved that, and they thought that was fantastic. But scavenger hunts are great, even if it's stuff that's in the house, right? We did one of those before, and that was super fun. Like, hey, go find let's go find essential items. Go find a flashlight. Go find water or whatever it is. And they run away, they run back, and just ways to make it fun for them. I think the thing that, and I'm just curious what everybody else's thoughts are, but I think the thing that we're struggling with is if this is going to be 100% online, which potentially could be a situation, right? I mean, what I'm reading about is that the potential of going into an even more aggressive lockdown come October is pretty real. So how do we keep people engaged? How do we get people moving? And how do we make it fun for the scouts and still satisfy requirements because I know the Zoom burnout thing is definitely a very real thing, and that we've had a ton of scouts that have told, the leaders flat out that if they're not meeting in person, they have no interest in doing anything online. So I'm trying to figure out how do we keep them engaged and make it exciting and fun, especially when we're talking about new families and trying to get tigers to join. So I just wanted anybody's thoughts, ideas at all. It would be extremely helpful, especially me being a brand new Cub Master.
This is Gary Thompson. So there are still some areas that we can go through for fitness and things that fall under fitness. So even if you were to do something like a bike rodeo and set up an obstacle course in a big parking lot, and have stalls for them to have their bikes in that are give them their 6 feet of distance and be able to set up and ride that obstacle course for everyone. Things like that are still options out there. So looking at, find a big empty parking lot and some cones and set up in advance and set everyone there and give them their pit stop area, right? So that it becomes a quasi bike parade. Could be or a rodeo would be a good idea. Let them decorate their bikes.
Yeah, we can't push the, your traditional camping trip with a bunch of tents together. Can't do that right now, but we can focus a lot on the other characteristics that that scouting provides, and just something for us to think about as we try to pitch it to the families.
Yeah, we've thought about talking about even, hey, look, teaching scouts how to master video conferencing, right? I mean, I work with plenty of adults who are terrible at it, in business, and just things that they can learn skills now that might not have been something they would have been taught normally, but factor it into communication and leadership and how you're, working with others, even in a virtual setting, right?
So I have an older scout who's a first class now, Boy Scout, and one of the things that's quite interesting is if you look at all the merit badges, and especially the Eagle ones themselves, is you're teaching life skills. And I've got a lot of parents who are just amazed at the things my son is learning. And that actually is true in Cub Scouts just as well, right? It might not be obvious in the tiger wolf year, but once you start getting up to the bear and the Webelos year, the things that the scouts are learning are things that, there's a lot of teenagers that don't know how to do, right? They are cooking for their den at that cast iron chef adventure. The first aid skills they learn as Webelos are not bad. What other things are we doing? The knife safety, right? I mean, there's a lot of kids nowadays that don't necessarily help their parents cooking in the evenings, like maybe some of us older adults learned how to do is cooking constantly because that was what you did. So the knife skills you learn with whittling chip, the cooking, the first aid, public speaking certainly, but what other? Just the Eagle Merit badges are just, and all those skills you learn in Eagle Merit badges are things that you're learning as a Cub Scout just as well. The physical fitness, someone mentioned that. When we have our recruitment events, everyone is astounded by the outdoor activities, but I think we can put a good spin on life skills that will do well for your kids, teenagers, and adults.
And I think if you get the parents psyched up about it, if you play that angle to the parents and just really sell the virtues of scouting, if you get the parents excited about it, that excitement's going to carry down to the kids. So
I've got kids that were super excited to be cooking and cooking a meal by themselves. That was thrilling for those fourth graders.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the things that I've considered doing, talking to the fire department and also the sheriff department here locally in Wilmington and in Lomita to try and do, it's still kind of like the Zoom thing, but I'm waiting which one will get first because I have one boy, he's actually a wolf, but we've done it before in the past where as an emergency responder type of person, we actually go to there and the boys would see what they would do in the sheriff's substation that we have at over Harbor College, and they'd show them this car and the whole thing. One of the things I thought because now we have a new person there, a new not a new sheriff, a new deputy sergeant, and I've reached out to him. I'm just waiting to hear from her back to do like first aid type of thing where they can teach something online, and maybe I can do that with either the new deputy there or the fire department over here in Lomita.
So we had a speaker that I liked a lot. It was Eric Yoon, who is the sort of famous Baden-Powell impersonator. And for years, he's kind of made a trade doing the Wood Badge impersonation, but it's now come out of the syllabus. So we had him do it on Zoom, and he had the background of Baden-Powell's office in Africa, wearing his full regalia, and did the whole talk that he normally does. It's about 15 minutes, 12 minutes probably. But it was pretty fun. I've seen him many times do it. But the kids hadn't. And for them, it was kind of, a little different to a regular speaker, because he was fully in character as Baden-Powell.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That would also be good, kind of backtracking a little bit to my, what I was saying before about reinforcing the ideals and concepts of scouting. I mean, who better to relay that message than someone acting as Lord Baden-Powell?
Any ideas on how you want to run a pack meeting virtually with 100 scouts?
We tried one pack meeting, and we did the scavenger hunt where kids were running all over the house looking for things. This was, I want to say May, I believe we did it. So like the kids weren't too burned out, and they hadn't seen everyone in the pack setting for a while. And it went, the kids seemed to enjoy it, but it was just craziness.
Yeah. I mean, in-person pack meetings are chaotic enough. But kind of my personal feeling on like really large Zoom meetings with a lot of people, I feel it gets really impersonal at that point. You just kind of like a fly on the wall at that point. Yeah, I feel that if you are relegated to the online Zoom meeting realm, I really think keeping it as small groups, I think is really the way to go. That way everybody feels like they're part, an active part of the group, and they're making a contribution. If it's a big group, just like in a big in-person group, it's just very easy to just kind of slip into the, into the background and just, be a fly on the wall. But
I will say that our virtual campfire went well, and we had 20. So, 20 seemed to work because it was a very fun event, and it's easy to engage people singing.
And of course, you gotta you gotta really put on the act. You gotta really play the part, and be the essential, be the quintessential Cub Master, and get everybody going, get them excited.
We did a couple of, in addition to the 30-day challenge, we did a hiking challenge where we set a number of hikes, and we did a blue rope challenge, which is like the red rope challenge at Scout Camp, but we just gave them 6 knots to do in 2 minutes, the 6 Cub Scout knots in 2 minutes, and we have some blue rope that they will get a piece of blue rope, which when they're bigger, they'll be able to take to Scout Camp and exchange it for a red rope if they can do 14 knots in under a minute.
Yeah, I'll share a quick piece with the Cub Scout virtual day camp team. It took a lot of time, and we thought a lot about this to make it not another classroom setting, not another sit down and regurgitate or spit out something and have the kids or the scouts there doing that. So it's going to take everybody kind of dig a little deeper and emote the best personality you can, and try to get in their shoes and make things that are fun and interactive and exciting. Get as much hands-on. We're doing the camp boxes or virtual boxes that are going home, so they're going to have something physical to do. They're going to be able to share that experience with the den that they're working with. So they're still going to be able to get that type of interaction. And honestly, look at any of the kids out when they get together and play. They're playing together, shoulder to shoulder, while playing Roblox or Minecraft, Fortnite. They've been adjusting to this virtual environment better than many of us. So, with our down on the farm theme, I'll leave you with the joke of the farmer who had trouble with his Wi-Fi, so he moved his router out to the barn. Now he has stable internet.
Ah.
Hey, Jeff and Jen, just to give you a heads up, one of our Cubs, TJ, he attended both the pack campfire that we had as well as the virtual one, and I think he stayed in the tent in the backyard for a few weeks afterwards. So he's been kind of constantly camping out there. So that's
Nice.
it had some positive effects on there. So I think we're all kind of jealous of the stint that had been going. So.
Very good. All right. Good to hear stories like that where things are working. So, all right. Unless anybody else had anything else they wanted to chime in on, I hope this discussion was helpful, gave folks a few ideas and a little bit of motivation to just do, like as the Cub Scout motto goes, do your best. And that's all we ask our scouts to do, and that's all we can do. So I wish you all the best of luck. And if you need help with anything, again, don't hesitate to contact your unit commissioner. That's what they're there for. Don't forget to look at that Scouting at Home page because it's really developed over the last couple of months. So it's not just a static document. It's always evolving. So, there's a lot, scour the internet. There's lots of stuff out there. Be creative and, make it work. One day this will be over and we'll be camping again.